What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You're here for another recap and review of Ready to Love. This is season 6. I forgot the name. I forgot the number of the episode, but it's X-Files. Okay, so starting it off, there's been a whole lot of breaking stories posted out here in the YouTube streets, exclusive exposés about the cast members and what's going on behind the scenes, and a lot of those videos are exactly why this show is so hard to still love, so hard for me to want to keep up with. So I'm really losing my pizzazz, I'm really losing my interest to even talk about them at this point in time. As most of you probably all aware, Erica and Dakaya have been going, not Erica, saucy zesty ass, Eric and Dakaya have been pretty much going at it. Well, actually, that's not true. Eric has been going in on Dakaya about what she said about him being a little bit too touchy-feely. And he came out going in on her, saying that she just out here trying to ruin his reputation, ruin his brand, or what have you. And then actually says on the show itself that what she said is true. Okay. On one of the videos that he put out on Instagram, not only did he say it was true, he said it was her fault that it happened. And a lot of y'all may think the same way, you know, saying that she be throwing herself at him, she overly flirtatious and stuff like that. You know, he basically turned the old school prom pick pose into a titty grab. That's basically what happened, right? I don't care if she was throwing that thing back on him in the middle of the act. If there's an advance that happened that she did not want, then it's an unwanted advance, plain and simple, okay? She invited him to take a picture with him, not to grab her titties. So, I had heard that he was supposed to be quitting the show. We saw that happen in this particular episode. In the meantime, Dakaya said she don't want to date him, she don't want to film with him. End the story, right? Carmen looked confused, because like I said, Carmen was like, she always throwing herself at him, so I'm not sure what the hell was really going on. My hair look crazy. It don't matter. Anyway, so if some of these lies are any indication of the truth, then what I said last week about Carmen and Dakaya not really giving a damn about each other, that's wrong. Okay, it is clear to me that Carmen and Dakaya do not like each other for real. I was really thinking they really didn't care much about each other. I thought that they was grown enough or big enough to, like, I see you, but who are you to me for real type of situation. But no, apparently one of them is hella pressed about the other. One of them is hella pressed. And there's a clear divide amongst the ladies that are remaining on the show. Actually, the ones that were on the show, they have already been voted off too. It's a clear divide that Carmen is on the outs. You clearly see it. She hangs out with the fellas for the most part. After every... Where the hell did that cup come from? Hold on for a second, y'all. After every outing she does, she's out with the fellas for the most part. Give me a break. I had some juice, I can't find it, right? So this week we get into one of my most dreaded episodes, and that's Meet the Ex. You know, Meet the Ex, Meet the Best Friend, Meet the Family. I hate all of those episodes. I really do. This is something that an average person would never do, right? Ace even said that I ain't never let my ex meet with somebody that's coming up next for me. Never. Well, we've seen in previous seasons that they have pulled out people from the past, 15, 20 years ago. And I'm like, unless you still have current dealings with this individual, I don't get how that works, right? Unless there is ongoing abuse that needs to be discussed. Most people have grown up from their past relationships that they were involved with somebody in that manner, somebody that long ago, right? So I was like, okay, let's see what they're going to bring us this particular season. Of course, last season, y'all know I didn't believe half the people was even ex, and it turned out to be true. Most of those people were not their exes. Anyway, Tommy think that the men could use the advice that the exes could offer, and he also wants to see if the men react in a jealous way, you know, or if they're not going to be jealous, or if it could be triggering for them to be meeting somebody from the past. Joy is thinking this is definitely going to trigger Clifton, because her past is something that they already have an issue with. I wish they would elaborate on that a little bit more. So we start off with Joy. She invites her ex Sean, who hasn't seen Joy in 2 years, but she feels they have a very good friendship. Sean looked like he still got a lot of fee-fees for her. Even when they wrapped up this date and they toasted at the end, he wanted to make sure that she looked him in the eye. Okay? Yeah, it's something, he still got some type of connection or feel for Joy, in my opinion. She invited Clifton and Laverne. So I guess Laverne was really one of her tops or whatever, or really had a deeper connection with Joy than, you know, what I believed, and maybe over Ace, whatever. Laverne shows up first. She's already set the stage that he's going to be a piston, right? Sean starts off firing questions at him, mainly in regards to what his intentions are with Joy. I don't understand that question at all from an ex. Why do you care about what their intention is with her? You ain't dealing with her, okay? But anyway, Laverne is already setting himself up to be the one to love, right? He's shading Clifton and left and right, and then Clifton walk in. Of course, he always say, speak of the devil, right? And Clifton come in like, what in the hell? You know, he thought he was about to have a one-on-one date with Joy. He realized that the ex was there as well. And he was like, oh, hell no, I don't need to talk to him. I don't need to ask him nothing about Joy that's going to further my progress with her. Only thing I can learn from this man is how he already failed. I was like, okay, you know, I understand that, you know what I'm saying? So when Clifton sat down, he was like, so what's the tea? You know what I'm saying? How deep is your relationship? How deep is your friendship? That's what I want to know. And old boy is like, Clifton is jealous of him. I was like, where you get that at? I didn't get jealous. That's not the vibe I got. I thought that was a valid question. I need to know how deep your relationship is, because it helped me understand if there's anything that I can really take a value, or if there's anything I need to be concerned with. Because, you know, from Clifton's past experiences, he knows that exes can get a little closer than what they need to. They just sitting in the background lurking and waiting for their moment to jump back in, like they playing double dutch, okay? Yeah, I didn't see Clifton as jealous in this moment. I saw him as being more annoyed that he's even here. And not only that the ex is here, but the Laverne is here as well. So we get to see Tommy talk to Eric, because that's what Tommy said he was going to do. You know, he wants his perspective on what happened. His perspective is that he hurt Dekaya's feelings. Hurting her feelings and touching her titties when she don't want them to be touched, it's not the same thing, Eric. But he feels that his actions hurt her feelings. The way he moved hurt her feelings. What you do, you grab them, cup them, clip the nipples, what you do? Well, they hurt her feelings, right? So he explains what happened. They was taking a photo, basically same thing she said. His hands were at her waist and they moved up. She didn't like him where he moved them to, which was her titties. And she said, you know, hands down. He took his hands off of her. He said that it was a horrible situation. How did horror manifest from that? Did you do Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, and expose her nipple in front of the other men? Like I said, did you grasp her nipple? Did you squeeze it, tweak it, or something like that in front of the other men? How did it turn into a horror situation? If she told you to remove your hands and you did so, how was that horror? Did you try to justify your actions? You know what I'm saying? Embarrass her in the moment? I'm not understanding where the horror came from. So much to the point that he says, you know what? I think I need to bow out. I realize I'm not ready to love because I can hurt somebody in this manner. He needs time to self-reflect, which is what Dekaya said that he should do. Self-reflect, right? Now, Eric, just last week, now this happened back in October, y'all. Just last week, though, he was all over the internet saying Dekaya was lying on him. That Dekaya was ruining his name, ruining his brand. Called her a gerbil mouth liar, to be exact, you know what I'm saying? And now you sitting here saying that what she's saying is true. So how was she lying? From what I can see, she hasn't said too much on this at all. You've been the one doing all the talking. You done been the one who was doing your secret expose interviews with all these other YouTubers, trying to make her look like she did something wrong or said something wrong. She didn't like the way you touched her. She don't want to date you no more. She don't want to film with you no more. And that was in the discussion for her. But you, like, really going in like the little bitch I always thought you were. Anywho, heck, when she went to her little detail in her little confessional, she didn't really go into detail. She still kind of gave a summary. So all that drama that you was stirring up, what was that about? It seems like you may have been the one that was hovering over her. Like you was trying to tell Carmen she was doing, hovering over you. You may have been the one hovering over her. I don't care if y'all had sex before. There's a time and a place for everything. And she may not want people to know that, she may not want you to be grabbing her titties out in public. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't like that. Y'all ain't that cool or something like that. But I'm still thinking that the version of that kiss situation that I explained last week, I think that's what happened. He linked in for a kiss, whatever. He said she leaned in. But anyway, a kiss was supposedly happening, and I think that he tried to go too far and she tried to stop him then. Because that's the only reason why I can see her being so upset. If he went for the breast or whatever he did, and it was just something as simple as him going for the breast, she said move your hand, and he did. I don't even see why it would upset her to that power that she's like, I don't want to see him no more, I don't want to talk to him no more. This had to be a second time. That's why I'm thinking the kiss situation may have been something that went overboard, or he stepped out of bounds or whatever, you know. And now here again, you grabbing my breast out in public when I didn't give you permission to do so. It had to be strike number 2 for her to be like, I don't want to even deal with him, I don't want to film with him no more. You know what I'm saying? Something else had to happen, or this had to be something that was recurrent. You know, another time, another situation, another thing that probably happened between them. That's all speculation because I don't know and I don't care. I'm not going to ask him. So anywho, yeah, we over at this restaurant called Carmen's with this still with Sean and Joy and Clifton, and Sean is trying to clarify that he and Joy are not romantic, but she indeed has a friend in him, and he's there to help her make a good decision. But he does say that Joy gonna make her own mind, do what she want to do in the end. Unless my ex is saying poetry, watch out for bruh. He moved the same way I do. I don't understand your purpose. I really don't. I'm with Cliff on this, right? Okay. Sometimes that shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to lay on. Okay? Sometimes it can be. I could tell that Sean has no like for Cliff for real. Every time he spoke, he addressed Laverne. He looked Laverne in the face. He talking to Clifton, but explaining it to Laverne, right? It's like he's trying to give Laverne the understanding. That mofo tried to throw hella shade at Clifton too. Like, bro, you need to get therapy. You need to have therapy because you're deflecting your past hurts that you had with other women onto Joy. Now, Joy was even like, hold up. She knew there was shade because she tried to interject and like, no, he's doing the work. He's going to therapy. So dude's going to say, oh, okay, that's good. I guess it's good you're doing the work, you know. You trying to progress and stuff like that. However, he hated to say it. He thought that Clifton kept it a buck, okay? He thought that Clifton was the one who was the most honest and upfront, and he was able to learn more about who Clifton was as a person opposed to Laverne, because Laverne just kept throwing out superficial things, you know, jokey, like, I'll give you my cash app, or I'll give me your cash app and I'll pay you for the vote so she could pick me, right? His main issue with Clifton is that he's got issues that he's working through, and even though he may seem like the better fit for Joy, he's going to be more of a risk. Joy don't see him as a risk. Joy says, you know, if I'm ready to jump off that ledge, he's the person that's going to jump off with me. That's how Joy sees him. She doesn't see him as the person that's going to push her. So anyway, next up is Carmen and her twins. Bitch had them titties out, okay? She walking down the street clasping her ex's hand, gazing into his eyes, smiling, being flirtatious. Anybody else find that strange besides me? Was I the only one thought that was odd? She set up her date for him to meet Paul and Donovan. And I was like, baby, you can't make me believe that Marcus can still hit it if he wants it. Okay? He can still get up in there if he wants to. She said she's looking good just for him. Fuck the 2 other men that's coming to see it. She's looking good for him. And she wanted to make sure that he noticed the titties. You see these right here? You see these right here? I'm turning the headlights on for you, baby. I was like, how many times you gonna touch your titties, girl? Okay? How many times you gonna touch it? And he's like, don't play with me. I'll take you home and fuck you right now. He didn't say that, but that's what he wanted to say. I'm telling you. So, yeah, she warmed him up for him, warmed him up. I am sitting here thinking, I am so glad that these 2 guys are not her actual man right now. Because this is hella fucking disrespectful. Hella disrespectful. Okay. Now we get to meet Ace and her ex, Devon. I think I know Devon too. He looks very familiar. Devon gets to meet Tori and Laverne. I've seen him before. I don't know where I've seen him at. Probably at a poetry event too. Anyway, it's clear that they haven't connected in a while because she's, you know, trying to catch up on his what he's doing currently, so it's possible they haven't seen each other in the recent past. He seemed like he was her type. He does, which is actually close to Tori to me. He has a similar swag or similar vibe as Tori, but since Laverne has already been on one date, he already know what's up, right? He already got the heads up coming in. He finna go on a date with her ex. So now Laverne is hella cocky on this date. Back when he was with Sean and Joy, he was basically trying to butter Sean up, to get him to lean his way. With Devon, he like, you know what? I already know I got this on lock. So Devon, what you got? Like, bring it, right? Devon starts off with a jealousy question, basically asking him how jealous is he. He says 0, zilch, Nina, nada, nothing, right? Okay. At first I thought he was gonna pull from the book of Clifton and come out with a little speech about how he done did the work and all that. No, he didn't do that. He said he's not a jealous man at all. He feel like he doper than any man in the room. When he walk in, he could be in the room next to Obama and Jay-Z, and he's still the dopest man alive, right? It's obvious to me that his arrogance is not confidence. Laverne exudes insecure. He's the perfect example of an insecure man to me. It's showing hell a lot, at least for me, right? Devon say, okay, so you say you're not jealous. What's gonna happen when this next man walk in? How you gonna feel about that? And he say he's just another spectator, just like you. I was like, was that even necessary, cuz? For real? What was that even necessary? Why are you shading Devon? He just asking you a question. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, he insecure as fuck. Devon had this look like, bro, nigga please. That's the look he had on his face. And I was like, does Ace find this arrogance attractive? Like, is this what you find attractive? Because that moment right there would have just turned me completely off. Lower your fucking voice. That's what he had to do for me, right? But Tori, he come in, he cocky too. He's not exuding it as much as Laverne is. Okay, Tori was like, he ain't worried about the ex either. What he want to do is just sit here, have a conversation with Ace, and then talk shit to Laverne, because I guess he know he can get underneath Laverne's skin. All that back and forth. Basically, these two men are trying to show whose dick is bigger. I don't think they really either one of them got a genuine attraction or genuine interest in Ace. They just got a genuine interest in one-upping each other. Back with Carmen, Marcus is asking both of the men what their intentions are. Like, what does that have to do with you, what their intentions are? But he let them know that Carmen is a real social butterfly. She stay up in attractive men's faces, celebrities, athletes, and even women, right? So he said you got to be mentally equipped to handle all that. Donovan's like, no worries, I don't stress off or nothing like that. Her lifestyle is not an issue for me. So like, we just gonna mingle our lifestyles together, right? Paul says, well, I've been in that life already. I've been there, done that. I already know how it goes down, so I ain't worried about that. So they ask him what he do for a living. He says a software analyst. Carmen looking like software analyst. Like, how the fuck does that match with celebs and athletes? What? I don't know why Paul just didn't say the truth. He's a damn producer. He produces music. He still was a wannabe rapper at his age, but he still produces music. I mean, when I did research him, he did some tracks for Busta Rhymes. He did a few little ditties here and there with Papoose and some other artists. So he may know some big names and actually been in the celebrity limelight. I'm not sure how Carmen's job even fit into that either. She's a brand marketer. Oh, I guess she does brand marketing for celebrities, whatever. Anywho, so yeah, I don't even know why he would have said software analyst instead of what he actually does, because what he actually does fits the bill. Anywho, Marcus feels that Paul is a little soft. His choice of words, I was like, okay, damn, that's what you got from that. And basically, Carmen will run over him. He ain't gonna be equipped for her lifestyle. He think that Donovan is a much better match. Carmen, you asked Marcus, did he see you with either one of these guys? My answer is no. I don't see you with not one of them. Not even Eric. She was like, Eric gone from the show. I was really sad, but oh well, let's move on. Carmen don't want none of these people for real. I refuse to believe that. Now, one thing that got me with Ace and Devon is that he says that Ace is alpha. Really? I mean, I did say that I thought that all this peace, love, and hair grease was a front for Ace. That, you know, she put on her representative. She like, yeah, that's what I thought. But I never would have gave her the title of alpha. Never. But he tells her, look, if you want to be led by a man, go with Laverne. If you if you want to lead, go with Tori, right? Yeah, Laverne, he wants his woman to check him, you know, put him in his place, peg him in the butt, anything like that. That's what Laverne wants. So he ain't leading a damn thing, y'all. He ain't leading nothing. Anywho, Sabrina, she initially is not doing a double feature. She's going to have her ex Milton meet with Demetrius, his old sexy chocolate thing. When he was suited and booty, he was sexy chocolate. When he got into his regular clothes, he looked like a plain Jane. Anywho, he was the only one that did kind of raise my eyebrows, like, he looked kind of nice. So when you saw him and Demetrius in the same space, you was like, okay, I get it. I can see what she see in Demetrius now, right? But later on, he's going to meet Donovan and Tori. I understand the separation. Maybe she's trying to make Demetrius feel confident about himself. I don't know. Milton kind of dressed the part for each date. You know, he was kind of dressed up, suited and booted when it came to Demetrius. A little bit more casual when it came to Tori and Donovan. Tori, he's still in his fifis, y'all. He is still in his fifis. He is already mad Sabrina has multiple connections. And now he got to meet an ex too. He pissed off about that. So he said he gonna fake the funk. You know, he gonna keep a smile on his face, but he ain't gonna never let them see him sweat. Sabrina already peeped the game, dog. She already see right through you. And then Donovan came in like willing to learn about her and ask questions and, you know, interact with everybody, which is so opposite of his nonchalantness. She noticed that right off the bat, right? You could tell Milton was not feeling Tori. You could tell it, right? Tori tried to act like he didn't care that they were there, and he's coming across as he don't care about Sabrina. But so Milton, he assesses that Donovan is the one that she needs, even compared to Demetrius, not only to build with, but to actually be happy with. You know, Tori, he don't see that their personalities align, and Demetrius, yeah, he's a good provider. Maybe he seems like a bit secure, but he doesn't see her having joy in that relationship. So Tina wants Paul and Demetrius to meet her ex BJ, her ex from high school, y'all. She said 2004 was high school. I was like, fuck, how old am I? I keep forgetting she's 31 or something like that. Look, BJ definitely does not fit the bill of the man she claims that she wants, being older and reserved. And that was one of the first things Paul noticed too when he walked in. Like, this dude is hella young. How you get to my level? How'd you get up here? Okay. Clifton, he said he's gonna meet Dakaya's ex. He don't want to do it. Okay. Because again, he already knows that he's going to meet an ex. So he's coming in already on the defense too. And dude, Terrance is already seemingly on the defense. He was acting like they kind of knew each other for real. Like he know of Clifton and Clifton know of him, and they just like, you know, that's the vibe I got when they walked in. That whole date was awkward as hell. Awkward. Whoever edited it, y'all only edited the awkward moments for us. Anywho, this is the first time I didn't doubt that these exes were actually exes. Like I said, last season was a bunch of fucking lies. But Tina and Demetrius, I still don't see that they have any connection. He don't like that woman. He gave her that little one-arm church hug. Didn't even look her in the eye when he greeted her. He kind of looked off and just like, oh, hey, how you doing? She right here, dog. She ain't over there. Why you looking over there? Anyway, when he came in and Paul was already there, Paul was feeling a little salty that Demetrius was there. BJ looking like, who is these two old ass dudes that she here with? Who that? Who that? Why she got me meeting these old ass men? That's the look he had on his face, right? And he says that, oh girl got an anger problem. Tina does. He cheated on her. Basically, she said he was hiding in the shower trying not to get caught. He cheated on her. And she basically went at him by taking his phone, throwing it, putting a hole in the wall. Ladies, we've done it. A majority of us have done that. Somebody has hurt us. A man has hurt us. And we have physically lashed out in some kind of way. We slapped them. We tried to earth windmill them. We throw the phone away. We rip up some clothes. We pull bleach on clothes. We bust windows off the car. We slash tires. We've done some things. Majority of us, right? The main problem with that is Tina is not acknowledging that that's wrong. Like I said, we've all done it. Not we've all. I ain't gonna say we, because some of y'all will be like, I ain't never did that. I ain't never had to be that childish. Okay, a lot of us was that fucking childish, but the thing is, at least me, I can recognize that that wasn't one of the best moments in my life. I can recognize that that wasn't the most mature thing I could have done to handle that situation. I should have just walked the fuck away, left the relationship alone. But Tina reacts in a violent way, and she, at this point in life, thinks that he still deserved it. She still thinks that she was justified in her actions. No, sis, violence is not justifiable just because somebody breaks your heart, somebody hurt your feelings. It's not justifiable. I can understand, because like I said, I've been there and I've done that, and it make you feel good in the moment that you're doing it, but it's not justifiable. It really ain't. It kind of makes me wonder about her past relationship that she said she had that was so toxic, because it sounds to me, if BJ is say anything that's close to how she is now, that the toxicity could have been on both ends, right? So but it also made me think that her and BJ are still involved. BJ seems like he's the break my window dude, break the glass in case of emergency. She's in a relationship, she gets involved, she gets out of that relationship, she called BJ up. Okay, he breaks her heart, so she says fuck him, and then she finds somebody else. She goes with them, the relationship don't work out, she called BJ up. That's what it seems like their involvement is to me, right? Because there was something that he said when he was talking about her being a cutoff queen. He said, yeah, she get mad at you, she cut you off real quick, right? And he was like, oh yeah, I gotta tell this, I gotta tell this. BJ had to get this shit off his chest, you know what I'm saying? He said that when she gets mad, she could disappear for days, weeks, months, or even years. Years, dog. And then all of a sudden she'd call you back up. They still messing around. They have some off and on type of situation going on. That's what I feel. He probably thought that when she called him up to say meet me, this was his moment to get back in with her. Okay. Demetrius, he said that he don't like the ghosting situation. So she's not gonna be for him. Demetrius, she wasn't for you in the first place, right? Paul, he fine with it. He was like, okay, there was no red flags for him. He just happy he's still on the damn show. Now, when we get to Dakaya and Clifton, in this situation, it did seem like Clifton was jealous. No, not jealous, insecure. It seemed like Clifton was insecure in the face of Terrance. He was intentionally flirting with Dakaya just to see if she would flirt in front of him. Try to gauge what their connection is instead of just asking Dakaya, what the fuck is your connection with him, right? He says he wish he would have did that with Joy, but I think the addition of Vern made that more of an issue for him, right? Now, we go to Deliberations. It always trips me out how they are doing Deliberations this particular week, considering that nobody went on dates with anybody else. You only had your exes meet the people that you want them to meet. And on top of the fact that Eric just quit, so I was surprised that they're going to still have an elimination. He let Dakaya know that Eric is gone, like she didn't already know. Hell, Carmen knew, so trust me, Dakaya knew too. But like I said, I'm surprised they still voting somebody out, considering that he already walked. I'm going to say it's going to be Laverne and Tori, just based off of this show. We had a lot of screen time with Laverne, and Tori just... I don't know why Tori talked to the camera like that. You got to see up his nostril when he talked. Maybe he trying not let us see his lazy eye. I say Tori's still one of the better looking men on the show. He got a lazy eye that kind of throw me off sometimes. So yeah, maybe that's why he does that, lean back and talk like that. And it's kind of, I hate looking up his nose. Anyway, so Tommy asked who the ladies not feeling this week. Sabrina, Dakaya, Tina, Carmen all said Laverne. Joy didn't say anything at all as far as her dislikes. Ace, we never really hear who Ace like, ever. This is the first time we ever seen Ace on a date for real, other than with cornbread. Okay, then Tina, Carmen, and Joy, they all three said Tori, and then Joy also says Demetrius' name. Then Sabrina sheds light on the fact that Tori kissed Precious, which is exactly what I said he wanted to have happen, but he wanted to have that go back to her so she could feel jealous, feel like she could possibly losing him, that he could move on. What it did was annoy her because she realized it for what it was. It was just him doing it out of spite, and that's a turn off for her. So even though it was more women that said that they didn't like Laverne over Tori, I was like, Tori about to go, right? I would love for it to be Laverne though. So Sabrina, she meets up with Laverne. Dakaya meets up with Tori. Laverne already knows that the ladies have put him up for elimination. He had to hear that from Ace. Okay. The T is Sabrina, Carmen, and Christina are gunning for him. They are planning to vote him out so he can lose his connection with Ace. I find that strange, since you said Joy is your number one connection, that you think that these women want you to break up your connection with Ace and not with Joy. So that makes me think, yeah, that's for sure coming from Ace, right? So since he already has this in his mind, he about to come in here real nasty and real disrespectful. He already said it coming through the door, right? He didn't give a damn. Sabrina gets up to give him a little hug, and he kind of dap her up, but not really. He kind of like just do a shoulder shrug at her, like yeah, right. And she like, well, damn, okay, all right. Now they already wasn't having dinner. Y'all notice they was just sitting at the bar. They usually be having a full-on date dinner. They just sitting at the bar, so we already knew what was going down. Ain't nothing going down but the rent here. And Sabrina was like, well, look here. He said, you know what? I already know what this is about. So go ahead and tell me I'm not ready to love, so I can get the hell up out of here and I can walk out. And she was like, no, wait a minute, hold up. Let's just talk for a minute. Can we just chat for a minute? And he's like, nah, for what? What we talking for? He kept cutting her off, not letting her speak. He wouldn't let her lay out what the consensus was, what the ladies thought, what they felt. Byron is older, acting real ugly, and she felt it. And you know, he may have had a chance to stay, but he said he was going to walk out, that he was done. He not ready to love. And at the same time, it sounds to me like Dakaya is over there for to let Tori down easy, but Dakaya tells Tori, no, you get to stay, right? Vern, on the other hand, he don't need to walk out. Okay? He done pissed Sabrina off so bad that she get up and walk the fuck out, right? He said Precious is the one who told him that they had made this plot last week, which is shocking to me considering that Precious don't like none of these people. She didn't like him. Precious did an interview on Crystal Channel, and she said that the one person she wished she still had a connection with was Tori, which is odd considering that her and Sabrina are like this. But that's the one person that if she had a chance to do it over again, it would be Tori. None of the other people that she even talked to. And I thought that her and Clifton was cool. She don't fuck with nobody else on the cast, men wise. Okay. But anyway, he said it was Precious the one that told him she need to go check with her, your girl, you know what I'm saying? Then he says that he's been dating 44 years, y'all, since birth, because he's 44 years old. He's been dating since he came out the womb. He said, wah! The doctor smacked him on his ass. He thought that was the best first date ever. Okay. And yeah, so he said this is it. This is his last try. He done with it. He ain't trying no more. He's just gonna hang out with him and his damn dog for the rest of his life. Okay. I need somebody to go and check on Vern's dog. Somebody check on him, right? Because he probably really want to run away. I'm just saying. That's the end of this recap, y'all. I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being patient. This has been Poetry. I'm Poetry. This has been Twisted Life of TV. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yeah, get down in the comment section. Tell me what y'all thought about this. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.